In this video, I'll be sharing 7 personal branding tips, but before I get into all of that, I'm going to share what personal branding is and why it's important. Personal branding is the practice of marketing people and their careers as brands. It's an ongoing process of developing and maintaining a reputation and an impression of a person, a group, or an organization. Personal branding is important because a brand is something that identifies a particular person or group and distinguishes it from another one. A brand is the way in which a company or an organization or an individual is perceived by those who experience it. And because a brand is intangible, it's not as easily defined as other things. So personal branding is important because it's an area of your life that you can take an active role in creating. It allows you to self-manage your life without depending on others. So when you take your personal brand seriously, you are creating the perception that others will have of you, if you understand what I mean. So you're not depending on someone to say, oh, you are this type of person or you're that type of person, because when you take your personal branding seriously, persons can see that for themselves. Right? I'm going to be sharing 7 personal branding tips, and you can pick and choose which one of them you want to practice. And yeah, tip number 1 is always be authentically you. So when you're creating a personal brand or maintaining and developing your personal brand, it's important for you to be genuine, because persons can see through a disingenuous act, and it's way easier to maintain who you inherently are than to be keeping up appearances and trying to be fake and trying to be someone you're not. It's way easier to just be yourself in all situations, and persons can tell when you're fake, essentially. Another thing as well is that persons tend to gravitate more towards someone that's genuine, because it takes a lot of confidence and courage to be authentically you in all situations. A lot of persons try to act differently when they are around different people. So if you portray the same, you just be yourself all throughout, like regardless of the situation that you're in, it sends a positive message to persons that, hey, you are actually a genuine person. And another thing about being authentically you is focusing on what you genuinely like. A lot of times we, as human beings, we tend to, a lot of times we feel the need to fit in to a particular societal standard just because it's probably what's popular or what persons are used to. And it makes no sense for you to do that if that's not what you genuinely like. So a part of your whole personal brand should be focused on you being you doing what you like, as long as it's like legal and ethical and moral, of course. But yeah, and to add to that, don't feel less than if you're in a situation where you are surrounded by persons in different fields, different niches, and you probably don't know anything about what they're talking about. That's completely okay. Just embrace the opportunity to learn with a positive attitude. You really don't have to feel bad if you don't know something. Nobody knows everything, and it's far more important to just acknowledge the fact that you don't know something, and then don't stop there. After you've acknowledged it, try to broaden your horizons and learn and everything, but embrace it with a positive attitude. And yeah, tip number 2 is to represent your brand 24/7. So there are no breaks, there's no letting your hair down, represent your brand 24/7, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, etc., etc. I don't say that to say that you have to be hard on yourself 24/7, but I'm simply stating that wherever you go, who you are should always shine through. And it ties in with tip number 1 in being true to yourself and being genuine, because it shouldn't be that if you're in a different space then you completely forget about who you are and what you represent just to fit into a particular group or in a particular setting. You are representing your brand always, so that's 24/7. So regardless of the situation that you're in or the social group that you're in, your brand should always stand out, right? Okay. Tip number 3 is that you should always have TikToks. You should always have TikToks on hand, and this is very important because sometimes you're just like up and about all day and you don't eat nothing, and you know, so always have TikToks on hand. So if someone comes up to you and they want to have a conversation, you can confidently have that conversation with that person. So trust me, having TikToks on hand, very important, very important, because you never know. You could be having a bad day. It could be a day when you don't eat nothing or something, and you know when you don't eat nothing and you start to have a foul odor in your mouth, right? TikToks are very important because your confidence needs to shine through, and when you are cognizant of the fact that your breath probably smells bad, that's going to shine through in the conversation and the person is going to know. And yeah, just it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Just always have TikToks on hand, or Altoids or something minty if you have breath spray or something. We're TikToking all 2020 and beyond, okay? Yes. Number 4 is walk with a mini care packet, and I try to do this. I don't always do it, but I try to. So I make body butters and body oils, etc. So I would be doing a poor job at representing my brand if I go on the road and my skin is ashy, right? So I always have a sample size whipped body souffle in my bag, and I always have my lip gloss. It's almost finished. I always have my lip gloss on hand, so my mouth not dry. Yeah, so this is a pretty good combination, the Tic Tac and the lip gloss. So I always have them on hand, or I try to always have them on hand, so I can be confident in representing my brand. And that's a bonus tip: be confident in representing your brand, right? Yeah. So if you want a care packet of wipes, souffle, lip gloss, or lip balm for the males or for the females that don't like lip gloss, you can DM me on Instagram and I will fix up a nice little care packet for you. Okay? Yes.